I do apologize for noise. Actually, it's my 3D printer is a bit noisy.
Hi guys! Today I'm going to show you my collection of 3D printed BJD dolls, which I printed during maybe the last year and a half, or since I got the 3D printer, and just share some experience with it. I'm printing in PLA, so it's a PLA. It's a plastic-like material. It's environmentally friendly, but I'm not convinced, because when I kind of did the research a bit further, it doesn't really disintegrate. There's many different types of print media you can use. Now it's resin and silk, filament, and ABS, plastic, and so nylon. My printer is only PLA, and I had some couple of hiccups with that. It's Flash Forge, but it's not the best, it's not the worst, it's kind of mediocre. Anyway, like I said, I'm printing this in PLA, and these old dolls you can see here, they all printed with this media. I tend to print in white mostly, and grey is more experimental. I didn't like grey because you can't sand it properly. When you sand it, you can see the marks on the body then of the doll, or whatever I sanded it on. And white is more forgiving, and to be honest, it's versatile as well. All these dolls, but from one, and they were available for free from Thingiverse or 3D Cults, or Cults 3D. I will show you which one I bought, like the files, which you just download to the slice and just print it afterwards. It was a mixed experience, and I either ready now to move on from PLA and try maybe resin printer, though I did a lot of research about it, and it's still at the moment not the best. I mean, unless you buy for a few grands, which I'm not in that scale, you know, I'm a hobbyist, so for me it's just not worth it. Anyway, I'm just gonna show you and share the good and bad about printing your own dolls. And the pros, obviously, it's 100% cheaper than when you buy a BJD. For the whole 1 kilo PLA, for instance, you can print about 1.5 SD doll. So this one, the big one, is SD size doll. She's taller than Smart doll, so she's about 65 centimeters tall. And like I said, 1 kilo PLA lets you to print probably 1.5 of this lady, maybe even 2. It depends on the joint system. Anywho, so let's start with the smallest one, perhaps, because it's easier to handle. I will start with probably with this small dolly. She's dressed in a Barbie dress, by the way. So she was available for free on Thingiverse, and I actually hot glue sueded her body, and the articulation is very good. What I noticed is the smaller the scale, the better articulation is in PLA. The bigger the scale, it's just zero articulation there, unless you not only hot glue suede, you need to work on the body, and I will explain why later. So I did this face up on her, nothing special. So this is 3D printed, the wig is made, so she got the head cap, which just a pain in the backside, to be fair, because they never fit, you know. You always have to fiddle with them, resize them on in a slicer, because all the files supposed to fit, but they never do, even after filing and everything of sending them in. She's cute. She got really nice cute fists, like hands, and she got a feminine body. I think it's like she She's got quite a narrow waist to her. Anywho, so that's, she got very good articulation. So the body is from one file, and the head is from different artists, which I rescaled it. Well, the design, I mean, I rescaled it from 1/3 of the scale, I think, to the 1/6. So she's USD size, and she fits all kind of Barbie clothes. So there's the two heads now here, and I will insert the photographs of them because they're sharing the body with this lady. I do apologize for noise. Actually, it's my 3D printer is a bit noisy. So this both heads slightly different scale, but both kind of 1/4 scale, and they both fit this body okay. Just I was experimenting with different, like variety of face ups, which I don't really like, but I had no choice with the 3D printed heads. So they are quite nice. I don't remember the name of the artist, but if you go Thingiverse and you type BJD head, you'll find them. I think the artist actually makes resin dolls as well. So that's the cat, and the eyes are painted. It was kind of the body blushed-ish, just a little bit, not the body, even the head, sorry, blushed a little bit. It's quite well articulated, tail and everything. It's a pain again. Stringing such a small creature, and I used 1mm elastic, and figuring out how to string it is quite complex. I think the designer of these dolls, plenty of them on Thingiverse for free, is Japanese or Chinese or Korean, and he got a YouTube channel, and he kind of demonstrates how he strings them, but it's just because it's so small you can hardly see anything. But anyway, I'm okay with stringing. I can figure it out. It's just a bit of a painful because so many holes and they're small and you have to get them right. And anyway, so this nice little kitty. I tend to string them quite loose so they can pose quite well then. Otherwise, it's quite difficult. So this little fella, so he was printed in white. It's British blue. He was printed in white, and I painted before the stringing the guy. I painted him. I don't know he or she, but I call him because he's grey. Weird. Painted with acrylics and sealed with so I painted him with acrylics and sealed it, but still, when the joints rub together, they take some paint off the joints. But it's okay. So because I painted him, what's the good thing about it is because he becomes quite stiff and he can pose very, very well. All sorts of poses he can take. So he's quite cute. He's suitable for both scales, I would say, 1/4 and 1/3 of a scale. Righty-ho. So this one now. So interestingly, this is very famous hair, and the lady who designed him, she wasn't really aware that this is gonna get into BJD community, and she actually followed me on Instagram. Not followed, she followed me on Instagram, but I mean, she just said, "Oh, I didn't realize it's gonna make into BJD community," and it's amazing hair. It's supposed to be bigger, but I rescaled it in a slicer, and so it's not as big. Otherwise it would be, I think it's quite tall. And so the head can be removed, so you can see all the stringing hold on here. You can remove the head, so I gave it a bit of like a blushing face up, and actually the eyes I made, and they been inserted so tiny, so the eyes were made. And he is very articulated as well. The only problem is because I strung him with this 1mm elastic, He's a bit floppy, too floppy. But his ears move and everything. He's still cute, I think. You can see it like paw on paw. So this creature, well, not creature, is a cat, obviously. This I have to pay for, and I paid this from 3D Cults. There is a designer who makes animals, but I don't think I rescaled this cat. And I'm not sure I like the way he turns out. Because the proportion wise is a bit like panther rather than a cat. It's a bit big and a bit, I don't know. The idea behind is great, but it doesn't look like a cat shape to me. Unless it's what breed was intended, I'm not sure. So this is Alien. This lady who did him, designed him, is so cool. It's actually very stable and quite funky. So give it a bit of like an alien appearance as well, with a bit of a face up. Didn't blush it apart from give this 4 manicure to these 4 fingers. And the pedicure, blue ones as well, so to match the kind of the face. Yeah, it's very well articulated, and quite happy about this fella. So we're coming to the bigger dolls now. So this sculpt, the body is resin, so it's resin which oh, what's the company name? Oh gosh, I don't remember what the name of the body. It's just a white body, and the head is 3D printed. And I did the face up on my Instagram. Probably saw this doll. I posted you a couple of times. What can I say about it? So the problem with this one was that it's cracked because it was so tightly strung. The doll, I have to restrain it now after it's cracked. It's managed to crack the head. You can see this crack here as well. It doesn't go any further, and it's not a problem actually. I don't think it will go further because PLA is quite strong plastic, but strong-ish if it's not thinned out. Yeah, so this head, again, there is many heads available from Thingiverse, I think, or 3D Class, one or another anyway. And the lady or the designer sells some heads you can buy, you pay for, and some of them free. So this was a free head. Okay, so this one been seen on my Instagram a few times. She's, I think, so she's Polaris head, and her body is a mix, well, I think it's original, not Polaris, don't remember now. And I chose big bust, it's huge actually. So big bust, and the only problem with this bigger dolls is so the first version I printed of it, it's basically had a locking mechanism here which locks in this joint like that, and that's how it kind of stands and doesn't do this constantly. It's not tightly strung at all, it's barely strung, but either way, if it's too tight it's gonna kick, or it's loose, it's gonna kick. So the design of the original doll, which I did point out to designer, but the response was that's the way it is, and you should lock it, and you should install the joint like that when you install it. She said you need to do like 90 degrees, which I did, but it's still, all these parts here snapped. So what I end up doing, I end up wasting about half of the reel and trying to adjust the joint, this one, the kneecap, and in the end I did, and it's now like that. Well, it's better than snapping the parts of these fragile parts. So, and this doll has been given a manicure with UV resin. You can see slightly different, not color, but a bit more smoother plies, because what I do to smooth it out, I use UV resin, and it's kind of primes it quite well, as well as gives more stronger bond to whatever, like nails. And she got tattoo here. Ooh. The good thing about ply, you can put it in the UV lamp, you can do anything with that you want. It's not gonna yellow, it's not gonna do anything, and it's not cost, it doesn't cost a fortune. Obviously it comes with certain interesting faults, but this body needs to be worked on. Probably need to put some, not only hot glue suading, but maybe put a wire inside the joint, which I did try, but the wire slipped because you can see how big the joints, like the holes are. They're actually huge, look. And that's the problem, because there is the tension is too much. Nothing to relieve it, basically. Even with a thick elastic, it wouldn't do anything. So that was that. So this big lady, I haven't finished, I haven't done her face up, as you can see. And I printed this head. It's like a head for this body. A different one from different designers available now on the site. And I went with this head because it's quite unusual, I thought, but I haven't printed the head cap yet. But the rest, she had her nails done the same way as the previous one. So she is updated version of Polaris, I believe, because she's double jointed compared to this one, the pink lady. This one is double jointed. It's much more controlled. She's got different bust, smaller bust, and she's tall. Like I said, she's very tall compared to this one is about 55 centimeters in the pink wig, and this one is 65. And it's a mixture of feet. So by the way, so original hands supposed to be like that, which looks a bit masculine to me. So, and the remix hands, they're these ones. So I didn't go over this. Well, too plain. And in terms of feet, you've got high heel feet, or there's option to have normal. She's got the same joint as this alien. So that's where this stemmed from. And the same problem with the knee joint. They don't stay locked, and I have problem standing here. So I first strung her quite tightly, and what's happened is I had, not on the feet, I had experienced the breakage here, so that's what's happened. Even I use infill, which is quite a lot of layers for infill, it's still quite fragile at the joint because it's quite thin. Even the plastic is quite hard, but it's like hard but not hard enough. And also, if noticed, so they've been printed different grey plus of these different types plus. I think it was PLA plus, which was supposed to be better, but in fact the normal PLA was much smoother print in the end than this one. You can see holes in that one. I don't know if the camera can catch it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day or evening, and see you later. Bye.